warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to everyone. We are truly honored to stand before you today to present on the topic how recycling makes Malaysia a greener place. Our topic today connects strongly with the vision of Malaysia Madani, a national concept introduced to guide Malaysia toward a balanced, sustainable and humane future. It emphasizes values that promote unity, care and responsibility, not only among people but also toward our environment. The three Malaysia Madani values that guide our presentation are: first, Mampan, sustainability, protecting the environment and ensuring lasting balance for the next generations. The next one is Keyakinan, trust and responsibility, recognizing that it is our duty to care for the earth and to manage our resources wisely. The third one is Ihsan, compassion, doing good sincerely and showing kindness not only to other people but also to animals, plants, and nature as a whole. Recycling actually brings all three of these values to life. It is not just about separating plastic and papers or managing waste. It's about building a culture of care, balance, and respect. When we recycle, we are choosing to act responsibly to preserve what we have and to show compassion for the environment that sustains us. So, what does recycling really mean? Recycling is the process of collecting, sorting, and processing materials that can be reused instead of being thrown away. For example, paper can be turned into new notebooks, plastic bottles can become new containers, and glass can be melted down to form new products. Through this process, we reduce waste, save natural resources, and prevent pollution. However, Malaysia still faces serious challenge when it comes to waste management. According to SW Corp Malaysia, our country produces more than 38,000 tons of waste every single day. Unfortunately, a large portion of this waste still ends up in landfills where it takes decades, sometimes even centuries, to decompose. As these landfills grow, they release harmful gases and chemicals that pollute the air, water, and soil. If we do not act now, future generations will inherit a polluted and unhealthy environment, one that is far from the Malaysia Madani vision we hope to achieve. This is why practicing recycling is more than just a habit. It is part of our amanah as Malaysians. By reducing, reusing, and recycling, we show that we care about the earth, we act responsibly for our society, and we live in the spirit of Mampan and Ihsan. Recycling reminds us that small actions can create a big impact. When every household separates waste properly, when schools and workplaces start recycling programs, and when individuals choose reusable items, together we move Malaysia closer to being a greener and more sustainable nation. Now that we have understood the importance of recycling and how it connects to Malaysia Madani's core values, let's explore the first values, Mampan, which means sustainability, and see how recycling supports Malaysia's journey toward a greener, cleaner future.
Thank you, Alia. My name is Nurfatini Akila, and I will talk about the first Malaysia Madani value, which is sustainability, or we call it as kemampanan. Sustainability is about creating a balance between human needs and also the environment. It means using resources responsibly so that the future generations can also live comfortably on this planet. One of the simplest ways we can practice sustainability in our daily life is through recycling. So, to begin with, recycling helps control the growing amount of waste in our country. Every day, tons of rubbish are thrown away, and much of them end up in landfills. So, by recycling items like plastic bottles, papers, and also glasses, we reduce the volume of waste and help keep our surroundings cleaner. Less rubbish also means fewer harmful gases and less soil pollution. In addition, recycling helps save energy and raw materials. Producing new products from recycled materials uses much less energy than creating them back from scratch. Like, for example, when we recycle aluminium cans, we can save a really huge amount of electricity that would otherwise be needed to extract new aluminium. So, recycling also lessens our dependence on natural resources such as trees, minerals, and oil. Moreover, recycling supports a healthier environment. When fewer raw materials are extracted, there is less deforestation, mining, and water pollution. This helps protect the habitats of animals and plants. Recycling, in simple terms, reduces the damage caused by human activities and it allows the nature to recover. In Malaysia, various efforts have been made to encourage recycling. In Kuala Lumpur and Putrajaya, recycling bins are placed in public parks, schools, and also residential areas so that people can separate waste easily. Some local councils also hold recycling drives and awareness campaigns to teach the communities about sustainable living. These actions show that everyone, from the government to the students, has a role to play in protecting our planet. So to conclude, recycling is more than just a habit. It is actually an act of responsibility that reflects our care for the earth. By recycling, we reduce waste, save resources, and protect the environment for the generations to come. This is the true spirit of Kemampanan, building a sustainable Malaysia together through small but meaningful actions. Thank you, that's all from me. Now, my friend will continue with the second Malaysia Madani value, which is keyakinan, which focuses on responsibility and trust.
Thank you. I'm Alia Masara and I will continue the presentation. The second Malaysia Madani that connects strongly with our topic is responsibility or related to keyakinan. We often use this word to describe someone dependable who can be trusted to do what is right. But in the context of our environment, responsibility means much more. It means understanding the earth, the air, the water, as well as the forest as the blessing that has been placed under our care. They are not our possession, but they are a form of trust from God and from those before us. So, it is our duty to protect as well as preserve them for the generation that will come after us. And that is what true responsibility means. Recycling is one of the simplest but most powerful way we can show that responsibility. It is not about managing waste, it is about taking action to make Malaysia greener and more sustainable. Every time we choose to recycle instead of throwing things away, we are actually showing that we take our responsibility seriously. Think about it. The waste we create does not just disappear. Plastic bottles and wrappers can remain in the environment for hundreds of years. When they end up in rivers or ocean, they will harm fish, turtles, as well as birds. When they pile up in landfills, they release harmful gases and pollute our air. By recycling, we reduce this damage. We take responsibility what we use, and we ensure that our action does not harm not the people, not the animal, or not the planet. And that is the essence of responsibility. Doing what is right when it's not even an easiest choice. Small steps like sorting out the rubbish at home, bringing reusable bottles, as well as avoiding single-use plastic may seem minor, but they reflect big value. Recycling is not just a practical act to reduce waste, it's actually a reflection of our responsibility as Malaysians to keep our country clean and green. In Islam, the environment is part of our religious responsibility. When we recycle, we are not just following rules, we are fulfilling our duty to protect what Allah has entrusted to us. Beyond religion, responsibility also defines who we are as an individuals. When we recycle, we actually show discipline, we show care and self-control. We provide that we care more than just about ourselves. For example, when parents recycle at home and the children observe and they learn about it, so they become caring for the environment too. And that is how responsibility is passed on. It's not through lectures, but it's through habits and consistent actions. Whenever recycles together, it strengthens the spirit of the community. When schools are offer practices in recycling, it creates a sense of shared duty and respect for public spaces. If every Malaysian fulfill this responsibility by recycling regularly, we can build a greener and cleaner nation, not through enforcement alone, but through moral awareness and good habits. By being consistent, we're being a role model. Other people, they rely to do what is right when if it is even small things, and that's what responsibility truly means: being trustworthy and caring in every action. In short, recycling is a reflection of responsibility in everyday life. It shows that we accept our responsibility to protect this world, a trust that has been given to us by God and by those before us. But responsibility does not stop with individuals. To truly live by the spirit of responsibility, our organization, school, and community must also play their part. To explain further about this, I will now pass to my friend who will share how institutions in Malaysia carrying out their responsibility to recycling initiative. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ala Maisara. My name is Adlina Haflin, and as the part presenter, I will be now focusing on the Malaysia Madani core value of responsibility between organizations and communities and how these parties play a vital role in making Malaysia a greener place through recycling. When we talk about recycling, we often imagine it as an individual action, which is separating our trash at home or putting plastic bottles into the recycling bin. But in reality, meaningful and lasting change happens when responsibility is shared collectively, and this is exactly what the Malaysia Madani concept encourages, which is shared values and collective action for a better nation. Firstly, corporate responsibility means businesses should manage their waste wisely. For example, companies can implement internal recycling programs such as separating paper, plastic, and electronic waste in the workplace. Offices produce large amount of paper waste daily, and with proper recycling systems, this can significantly reduce landfill use. Secondly, organizations can also influence their stakeholders by choosing eco-friendly packaging, supporting green suppliers, or even offering incentive for customers who bring their own containers. They indirectly encourage sustainable habits among the public. A great example is Nestle Malaysia, which introduced a Recycle for Good program in collaboration with local councils. Through this initiative, recycling stations were set up in communities, encouraging residents to bring recyclable items in exchange for basic goods. This kind of public private partnership shows how responsibility can create real impact. Next, let's look at communities. Malaysia is made up of diverse neighborhoods, residential areas, and even community groups. These communities hold the power of true normalized recycling in daily life. For example, residents associations or village development and security committees or JKKs can organize monthly recycling drive. This not only helps reduce waste but also build community spirit. People come together, learn, and take action collectively. Communities can also educate and support one another. For instance, if a neighborhood introduces separate bins for paper, plastic, and even glass and explains to residents how to use them, recycling rates can increase dramatically. In Penang, some communities have even adopted zero waste practices, setting up collection centers and composting systems. These local initiatives are powerful because they create a sense of shared responsibility. Everyone feels they are contributing to a common goal. Under the Malaysia Madani framework, which is responsibility or tanggungjawab is one of the six core values. It calls on every segment of society, in which are government, private sector, communities, and even individuals, to act with integrity and accountability toward building a sustainable future. When organizations and communities take responsibility for recycling, they are actually putting this Madani value into practice. It is not just about following rules, but also about caring for the environment as a shared trust. This reflects the concept of collective responsibility, which is when everyone plays their part, the overall impact is multiplied. The government can set policies, but without community involvement or and organizational support, those policies will not be succeed. Likewise, if only individuals act but organizations ignore their role, recycling efforts will remain limited. In short, recycling becomes truly effective when organizations and communities share the responsibility reflecting the Malaysia Madani values of tanggung jawab or responsibility. With that, I'll now pass it on to the next presenter who will be sharing about the next core value of Malaysia Madani, which is compassion. Thank you.
Thank you, Adlin. Continuing the idea of shared responsibility, I will now highlight another Malaysia Madani core value, ihsan, which means compassion, kindness, and doing good sincerely. When we talk about recycling with ihsan, it is not just about managing waste. It's about doing it with sincerity, love, and care for others and for nature. Recycling is often seen as a simple action, but it actually reflects our compassion towards all living beings and the planet we share. When we recycle, we are not only protecting the environment, we are showing kindness to future generations who will inherit this earth. This spirit of Ihsan transforms recycling from just a habit into a meaningful act of care and empathy. Some Malaysians practice Ihsan through creative upcycling. For example, turning used plastic bottles into plant pots or sewing unwanted clothes into reusable shopping bags. Others collect recyclable materials and donate the money earned to charity, disaster relief, or community aid programs. These actions show that recycling can be more than just reducing waste. It can be a way to spread love and compassion in society. True Ihsan means doing good without expecting anything in return. We recycle not for recognition or reward, but because it is the right thing to do for our country, our children, and our planet. Every small act of kindness, when done sincerely, contributes to a greater good. In conclusion, recycling with Ihsan reminds us that kindness can exist in every action we take, even in something as simple as separating our waste. Together with the other Malaysia Madani values, Mampan, Keyakinan, Tanggung Jawab, we can make Malaysia a greener and compassionate Malaysia. Thank you.
Thank you. I am Shinas and we have now reached the conclusion for our presentation on how recycling makes Malaysia a greener place. Today, we have explored how recycling connects deeply with the vision of Malaysia Madani, which is built on the values of Mampan, Keyakinan, and Ihsan. These values are more than just words. They are moral foundation for a nation that wishes to grow with wisdom, responsibility, and kindness. Through Mampan, we learn that recycling helps us live sustainably. It reduces waste, conserves natural resources, and protects our environment from further harm. Through the concept of keyakinan, we realize that recycling is not just a personal choice. It is a shared trust and responsibility. Every bottle, every can, and every piece of paper we recycle is proof that we care for our country and for the generation to come. When we have strong belief and confidence in what we are doing, we are more likely to carry out our responsibilities sincerely and effectively. And through Ihsan, we discovered that recycling is also an act of compassion, a simple yet powerful way to show kindness to others, to animals, and to our planet. These three values, Mampan, Keyakinan, and Ihsan, reflect the heart of Malaysia Madani, a nation guided by balance, respect, and care. When we recycle, we are not only managing waste, we are shaping a community that is thoughtful, responsible, and united in purpose. Imagine a Malaysia where every neighborhood is clean, where recycling bins are full of effort and hope, and where young people grow up understanding the importance of protecting the earth. That is the kind of Malaysia we dream of, a Malaysia that is sustainable, trustworthy, and compassionate. Let us take small but meaningful steps starting today. Firstly, separate our recyclables at home. Second, reduce single-use plastic. Third, support recycling programs in our school, workplace, and community. And lastly, the easiest is you can encourage others to join and make recycling a daily habit. Small actions may seem simple, but when combined, they create a big and lasting impact. Every recycled item counts, and every responsible citizen helps move Malaysia closer to becoming a greener nation. As the saying goes, we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. Let us remember that the choices we make today will decide the world they inherit tomorrow. It is our duty, our responsibility, return it in a better, cleaner, and more beautiful state. Together, through the spirit of Mampan, Keyakinan, and Ihsan, we can make Malaysia truly Madani and Hijau, a country that grows with wisdom, care, and love for the environment. Thank you.